Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I've got some breaking news coming out here for you, and I have an update regarding the ongoing Rafah operation that just got moving here in the last couple days in the Gaza Strip. So we know that the IDF started operating throughout eastern Rafah, asked well over 100,000 people to evacuate from the area, and they took control of, I believe, two important crossings that link Gaza to Egypt. And apparently, Hamas was using these crossings here to smuggle weapons and supplies into for their organization so they can fight against the IDF. So we've got an update here that the Biden administration has paused shipments of crucial bombs for Israel's Rafah operation. So apparently there's like these 2,000-pound bombs and 500-pound bombs. So there was 1,800 2,000-pound bombs and also 1,700 500-pound bombs. Now these have been delayed. As far as we know, they're not being cut off completely, but they are being paused, okay? Which I think is interesting because just a few days ago, I reported that there's an ICC prosecutor, International Criminal Court prosecutor, that's trying to go after the Israeli government and top IDF officials and issue arrest warrants for them over war crimes in Gaza. And then immediately within a week after that, we started seeing reports of like sanctions potentially from the United States. And I just reported, I think it was just in the last couple days, there was like 12 senators that got together. They all signed a letter and sent this letter over to the ICC prosecutor. His name is Karim Khan. And this letter basically stated, if you go ahead and try to arrest any of the Israeli government officials or the IDF officials, we will come after you personally and sanction your organization. You will be barred from the United States. You and your families will never be allowed to come here. Major sanctions on their organization, and obviously they rely on a lot of U.S. funding, so this would definitely hurt their organization, and putting pressure on him to not issue these warrants. So it's interesting because like they're telling Israel, go ahead with your operation, but then on the back end it's like, wait, we're not okay with this. Let's just cut off supplies and not let them have what they want. And like, I don't know, I think this is really strange. We've seen a lot of flip-flopping with so many different situations in terms of war going on all over the world, and it's just the weirdest thing ever. Just like the president of Egypt was coming out a few months ago and saying, "Hey, if you ever go into Rafah, that's a red line for us. We don't want there to be any kind of rush of Palestinians running over the border of Gaza coming into Egypt." And now Israel launches their invasion of Rafah, and then the president is nowhere to be found. I don't know where he's at. He's not saying anything all of a sudden. So we're definitely seeing this kind of flip-flopping going back and forth, which is very strange. But I want to talk some more about this shipment being paused. So let's get right into this on NBC News. U.S. pauses Israel arms shipment over Rafah assault fears as Biden pushes for a ceasefire. It says an Israeli official told NBC News there is deep frustration, in the government over the decision, which comes as the U.S. presses for a deal to head off a large-scale assault on the Gaza city where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering. So yeah, apparently the Israeli government is pretty frustrated by this because obviously they need these weapons to go into Rafah, and bombs are probably going to be one of the main things they need if they got to take out buildings and such. So the United States halted a large shipment of offensive weapons to Israel last week in a sign of its growing concern over a possible military offensive on Rafah, senior administration officials told NBC News. The decision comes as President Joe Biden pushes for Israel and Hamas to compromise and reach a ceasefire deal that would head off a large-scale assault on the city in southern Gaza where more than 1 million Palestinians are sheltering in dire conditions. The Israeli military said it had reopened a key border crossing Wednesday, following pressure from Washington a day after its ground forces seized control of the Gaza side of another crossing, a move that fueled fears aid supplies would be delayed coming into the enclave, but which U.S. officials said was a limited operation and not the full-scale assault Biden had warned against. So apparently this operation that we did report on in the last day or so, this operation of Eastern Rafah was very limited, and so far it has looked to be very limited. They have launched some airstrikes and cleared out some areas of Eastern Rafah, but I think most of this was just to take over the Rafah crossing, which I reported on that. If you want to go hear more about the Rafah crossing, I did do a video on that on yesterday. You can hop on over to my page and go check it out. Okay, so Israeli military appeared to play down the dispute with a spokesman saying Wednesday that the two allies would resolve any disagreements behind closed doors. But an Israeli official told NBC News there is deep frustration in the Israeli government over the decision. The official added that tensions had already been running high after Israel felt the U.S. allowed it to be blindsided by Hamas's announcement this week that it was accepting a version of a ceasefire proposal. So yeah, we reported on that too, that Hamas had supposedly accepted the ceasefire deal like right when Israel was like, okay, we're going into Rafah now and we're going to start operating. Everybody started evacuating out of eastern Rafah. And then hours later, we hear from Hamas that they told the Qatari delegation that's working on this whole ceasefire deal, hey, we accept the proposal, and there wasn't really any kind of details or anything like that. And apparently, according to Israel, there is no proposal, or maybe they're just stating that so they can go ahead with this operation, and they don't really care to do any kind of ceasefire talks anymore, which I would believe is that's the case, because from the very beginning, they said they didn't want any deal anyway. Okay, their goal is just to go into Rafah, complete the operation, destroy Hamas, and get out. That's their deal here. So this one says, bombs on hold. The White House has halted the shipment of weaponry last week because of a concern that it would be used in Rafah. A senior administration official said Tuesday night that shipment included 1,800 2,000-pound bombs and 1,700 500-pound bombs, the official said. Biden administration had been especially focused on ending Israel's use of 2,000-pound bombs in its offensive in Gaza, the official said, given the impact they have on dense urban areas. Israel already has a large arsenal, making the halt unlikely to stop an offensive. The U.S. began reviewing future transfers of military assistance to Israel in April, as the government appeared to move closer to a Rafah operation despite the urging of Biden, other world leaders, and humanitarian officials, the official said. No final decision has been made on whether to proceed with the weapons delivery at a later date, the official said, adding that the State Department is separately considering whether to approve future weapons transfers, including joint direct attack munition kits, which place precision guidance systems onto bombs. So I think that's it for this article. You guys can read the rest there if you want to. I primarily just wanted to talk about these weapons shipments that were being delayed, but there is more information here talking about Netanyahu and the pressure being put on the Israeli government over this Rafah invasion. So I'll cite it down below and you guys can read some more of that. But just real quick before I let you guys go, so what we're seeing here is the Biden administration pauses these shipments of bombs going to Israel. I'm sure in the near term they're going to go ahead and resume them. I think personally this is probably more of just a bluff to kind of make it appear that they're trying to stop this. But at least from what we've seen, the U.S. seems to be pretty supportive of this whole Rafah operation, although they have come out many times and said they're not okay with it. That's why I'm saying we kind of see a flip-flopping here, where 1 minute they're like, no, go ahead and go and do this. They're trying to stop the ICC prosecutor from issuing these arrest warrants, and then at the same time they're like, no, okay, we're going to pull away the bombs, so now you can't go into Rafah. But I think a lot of this really is to do with the Biden administration really trying to get a ceasefire deal, because Biden has come out many times and said that the way to move about this war is to get a ceasefire. But obviously Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister of Israel, doesn't want that. So it's always going to be, at the end of the day, I think, what Israel wants. But they're trying to do whatever they can to prevent them from making this decision. But it looks like it's already underway. Let me know what you think down below, though. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. That's going to be it for this update. If you got something out of this update, please smash that like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.